zone. We thank you. Uh, First off, I guess I want to say we hope that all of you and yours are well and stay well as we all work to get through this pandemic together. And I'd like to take a few minutes. We still got some people logging in, but I'll just briefly introduce Ashwood Computer. Uh, Two of our 18 members are on the presentation today. Jim Hogg's going to be doing the presentation, and Ron Fost is going to be managing the chat queue and attendee queue. In 1989, Ashwood Computer was founded, and since that time, our 18 members have been specializing in providing IT business solutions for customers all over the U.S. Whether their need was servers, operating systems, databases, custom programming, or support, we help provide end-to-end solutions for our customers with the service and support coverage they've come to depend on 24/7. Our ForeMost product is developed, owned, and maintained by the A team here. It is the most cost-effective ERP solution available today, multi-value based, but we actually sell into sites that have no legacy multi-value systems or background at all. So it's very open system, easy to implement, and it includes a full suite of core applications and RMB tools with which the A team members provide ongoing support and development services. And we can do this very rapidly for our customers. They're pleased because they get to work directly with the actual developers of the application, and they appreciate a prompt personal support and the service we can provide. Understanding legacy multi-value systems, because we've been focused on them for so long, we've been able to assist our customers maintaining features of their existing applications which they like, and helping them to eliminate those features which they weren't really happy with. With ForeMost, we're ported to Unix, Windows, and Linux systems, and we can host either on-site, in the cloud, data centers, or a combination of both. We're IBM, Dell, HP, and Lenovo business partners, and we are a VAR for all the multi-value databases. Our customer base includes national and international manufacturers and distributors, and we have solutions in companies like Cook Medical. They do medical biotech. They manufacture and distribute globally. They're a $5 billion plus company. Boeing, their distribution centers, they utilize a multi-value application. They're a $100+ billion company. Specialty Tires of America, specialty vehicle tire manufacturer. They're in the $112 million range. Serta Simmons, they utilize some of our software based on multi-value systems. They're a $1.5 billion company. Pool Car, one of the largest pool supplies and products distributor in the world. They're a $1.8 billion company. And our newest customer, Kroger Co., one of the largest supermarket chains in the U.S. They're a $100+ billion company, just began using a multi-value database application. So we're happy to welcome them to Ashwood's customer base. We focus on services and providing service both on-site and remotely. During COVID, this has been a plus for our people because they are so used to working from home and working remotely. And there's not much we can't do for our customers as long as we're granted remote access to their systems. So we have many new customers working with our 18 members, and they've been pleased with the experience that we have working remotely. We've been assisting some of them as their own end users and customers are trying to connect remotely to their systems. Some of the benefits you'll see and realize with ForeMost. Again, we run on Unix, Linux, and the Windows operating systems. Our customers can choose the server they wish us to host ForeMost on. Uh, we have the lowest cost of ownership by 50% at least of any comparable ERP systems. Our software development costs are reduced by more than 60% based on our MV tools, which come bundled with the ForeMost product. You can maintain your customer, vendor, product, financial, and historical data for reuse with ForeMost. And ForeMost has been designed to adapt and modify and customize rapidly to help us meet our customers' business needs. So rather than having to change your business to match the ForeMost software, we adapt ForeMost to match your business model. Again, ForeMost is a monolithic solution, so you pay one price and you'll receive all of the core modules you're going to see today. You don't need to implement them all, but they come bundled with ForeMost so that you can actually grow into ForeMost over time. We've done ForeMost implementations in as few as 30 days for a customer that had an immediate need to double the size of their business, and they could adapt ForeMost just as it was when we delivered it. We interface with multiple third-party products. Some of our customers utilize ADP or Paycor, Paychex for their payroll systems. They interface with UPS, FedEx, USPS, Microsoft third-party solutions, Salesforce, CRM systems. For accounting, QuickBooks and Sage, we have, as long as it's a standards-based product, we can interface with that. And we also assist our customers with EDI, interfaces with banks and credit card processing systems. So there's not much we can't do with ForeMost. It's a very powerful system, includes drill down and data analysis functionality built right in. You'll see some of that today during Jim's presentation, and also business intelligence potential. That'll be readily evident during our presentation. If you like what you see today, please let us know. We'd be happy to follow up, do personal invitations for any one of you attending, and we have a whole lot to cover. Jim is going to provide a high-level introduction, so if you could, because we got a lot of people online today, if you could share your questions with the presenters via the chat window directly, then we will assure that we address each of them. Even if we were to run out of time, we will follow up with you and get those answers to your questions. Again, thank you all for joining us, and I hope that you're well through this pandemic. And Jim, if you're ready to get started, let her roll.
Okay, well, good morning. I'd like to welcome everyone to this review of ForeMost. Looking on the screen right now, you are seeing what we call our tiles menu, which is one of two menu options that we have in the ForeMost product. And on this tiles menu, you can have up to 12 different functions that are available in ForeMost, and these are customizable for each ForeMost user. So each user can have the functions on the menu that they need to use most often. And this is good for running on a tablet. It's good for managers and high-level executives to give them quick access to the information that they need inside of ForeMost. And actually, for some users, this may be their entire ForeMost menu. This could well be all that they would require. So they can customize their icons, and they can set which functions that should appear on the tiles menu. There's also a more standard looking menu available in ForeMost. And for the demonstration today, I have full security, so I'm seeing every function that's available in ForeMost. But ForeMost does have a robust security where we can set access to those items that a user should have access to. For example, somebody that's doing shipping doesn't need all the accounting menus and items like that. And there's a very flexible security system in ForeMost to control what functions that users have access to. And there's also the other thing that is available on this menu on the right side here is a favorites menu where things that people would use every day for their job that they would use most often. Instead of drilling down through the various menus, they can add items to their favorites menu. And you'll notice that if I click through different menus, you will see they're all laid out in a very similar manner. So it makes it very easy to learn and become familiar with how to use the system. We generally have a processing area, an inquiries, a reports, and a maintenance. So the processing is for like here on purchasing is for like entering requisitions, entering purchase orders, printing purchase orders. Inquiries has like looking at information related to what purchase orders are open, vendor inquiries, inquiries on receipts. There's a section for reports, and then there's a section for maintenance for like maintaining the vendor or maintaining little code files that are used for like shipping terms, payment terms, things like that. And as you click through, you'll see it's very consistent on that type of layout. So it makes it very easy for people to use and become familiar with the system. And I also mentioned the favorites menu. Say somebody used it like the open order dashboard, for example, a lot, and instead of having to remember or find that on the menu, they can take that and drag it over to their favorites. And now that option will be there for them when they need it. And this is by user, so each user can build their own favorites menu with just the items that they need to have on there. And also wanted to say that ForeMost is built using our MV Tools product. So this gives the ForeMost product a very standard look and feel. The MV Tools allows us to make changes and develop new functions on a fairly rapid basis, and we can change existing functions rather quickly. So that's also available for the ForeMost product. And all these functions are included with ForeMost for the ForeMost product. So just to jump in and give you some examples, we're going to go to customer inquiry. This is an example on the ForeMost screens. And you notice the screens generally have a similar look. We have an area down here with tabs for different types of information pertaining to what function we're in. For the customer number, there are multiple ways of searching. You can type in a customer number if you know the customer number, or you can type in like some part of the customer name and it will do a lookup on that customer name. And if there's more than one, you'll get a list of choices and you can choose the one you want. You also have a query lookup where you can be more detailed on looking for the customer. Say you want to look for some customer name that could be equal to or contains or begins with these letters. So you can create a little lookup query on the fly for finding customers. And this is similar, you'll find in vendors, you'll find it in multiple areas in ForeMost, this ability to bring up those queries. So this is a example of a customer we have out there. And one of the nice things you'll notice, if you see the items highlighted in blue, these are actually links where if you wanted to see more information, for example, on this order for the customer, you can click on that order number and now it'll take you into an inquiry on the sales order. And now you can see the detail for the sales order. You can see the item that was ordered on that. If you want to see more information about the inventory here, you can click on that link and actually go to the inventory item and see information on that. Also, with the inventory, we have the ability to support multiple warehouse locations. So you can see the warehouse locations for this item, and you can click there and actually drill down into the information for that inventory item at that warehouse location. So you have the ability to drill down into the information for whatever you're looking for, and you can go, as many levels as you need for that. So we have tabs down here that represent different information. For example, this is the sales order. I can go back to the customer. You can see this is the open orders for the customer. If there are any quotes that have been entered for items for the customer, you can see the quotes. And again, the drill down for if you want to see more information on a particular quote, you can do that. Invoices that are outstanding for the customer show here, and you can drill down into those as well to pull up information for that particular invoice. Any work orders that are out there outstanding pertaining to that customer, addresses. And ForeMost, a customer can have multiple addresses, mainly for shipping locations. So you can have as many different addresses for that customer as you need. And this shows the different addresses, and you can once again click in the one and see the detailed information for that particular location. There's also a button for a map. If you click on this, this will link out to Google Maps and try to show you on Google Maps the location for that address if you need to. We also have some period information for the customer, showing some of the highlights of like shipments, invoices, and sales. Cash application information for the customer. You can also see contacts for the customer, and you can have multiple contacts for a customer. So as many as you need can be set up here. And this is just an example, some of the contact information for that customer. There's also what we call document delivery, and what that is how does this customer receive their order acknowledgments, and how do they receive invoices. And a customer can receive invoices either by printing them out and sending them out in the mail. They can be emailed or they can be faxed, and they can also be sent to multiple addresses. Like in this example, there's 2 different email addresses at that customer location that would receive the invoices. And the order acknowledgments are the same way. They can be emailed, printed, or faxed, and they can be sent to multiple locations for that customer. And then there's some historical order information for the customer as well. So that's kind of just a highlight of one of the inquiry screens and how some of the customer information works. Let me just see. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention on this too is on these screens, you can see this is like what we call a grid. Anywhere in ForeMost where you have information in a grid presentation like this, you can right click on this and send that information to Excel. If for some reason you wanted to do further analysis in Excel on that information, any of those grids like that, you can right click and create an Excel spreadsheet from that information. The other thing you can do is you can click on columns, and ForeMost will sort the information by the information in that column. So that's also there. You can control how the information is being sorted. The other thing that I want to point out on this is you have the ability down here for notes and attachments, and I'll show you a better example of that. But any item in ForeMost, like a customer, vendor, an inventory item, an invoice, any one of these items can have notes and attachments for just that particular item. And let me go out of here and go to inventory. I'll pull up an inventory item here. So this is an example. This is an example of an inventory item. And down here you can see there's 2 notes attached to this, and there's 6 different attachments. And I'll pull up the notes, and you can specify what kind of notes they are. You can set up your own notes type, and then you can enter whatever note you want to here. So this is an example of a note. So you can create and attach as many different types of notes that you want to an item. The other thing you have is attachments, and attachments can be anything that you want to associate to that. It could be information for a customer, for the inventory item. It could be an image of the item. So this is an example of an image that is attached to that inventory item. It could be like a manual. This is a PDF manual that is associated to that. And there's just anything that any type of file you can attach here. And if it has a Windows association, it can be viewed. You can even have a video. This is an example of a fellow welding a bike frame for our sample bike customer here. So you have the ability to have multiple attachments to an item, and you can have as many attachments for an item as you want. And this could be for like an employee. You could have information for attached to them. You could have information attached to a vendor, all different things. The other thing I'd want to point out on the inventory item is the bill of material. We have an ability on the inventory item to have what we call multiple level bill of material. So this is all the parts that would go into like making this bicycle. And there's an ability to see these items in a tree view. So you can see that there's like a seat assembly, and you can click here and you can see there's multiple parts that make up that assembly. And actually you could have another assembly under this with more parts. So there's support in ForeMost for a multiple level bill of material, and you can add as many different items as you need for making this product. So this is an example of the bill of material. And once again, you have this grid here, and just like in the customer, you can right click, you can send this to Excel if you want. So now that information we have in an Excel spreadsheet, and we can use all the features of Excel to do whatever data analysis that we would need to do here. I'm just pausing just to check real quick if there's any questions. So now moving on. I was also going to mention, like on the inventory items, you could have blueprints attached. Uh, you could have any kind of documents for a customer vendor that have to have any kind of signatures, any specific ordering information, packing information, different things like that. The other area and ForeMost that is very powerful is what we call dashboards. And dashboards are basically give you a kind of a consolidated high level view of information. For example, this is showing like all the open orders. Now, one of the options on the dashboard is this refresh. You can set this up. Maybe you want to have some kind of a dashboard on a large screen that would refresh every so often. You could display this dashboard and say, I want it to refresh like every 10 minutes. And it would go out and update this information being displayed here on 10-minute intervals. So you can see the open orders here. You can see the blue links. So once again, these links let you drill down into more information on that. So you can click on a link, go in to see more detailed information, and still drill down even further into other information if you want to see it. You can also have tabs here, so this can group all the order information by the different customers, and then you can click into that customer for more information on that customer. And ForeMost also has an ability to represent this data in a graphical form too. And we can do several different types of bar charts, pie charts, different types of graphs depending on what you would need to or prefer to see the data represented in. And all this can be easily customized with the MV tools for whatever requirements or needs that you might have. The other area that we'd like to talk about is the standard reports. There's a whole set of standard reports that ForeMost comes with, and any of these reports can be easily customized for whatever you need. But just for example, I'm going to show a report here. Let me put in some dates here. So all the reports generally run with a similar look and feel, where you can put in some information. You can have options to sort information if you need to. You can run it for just like this one can be run just for a specific customer. but all the reports will give you this block of destinations here. So you can run the report to a display. You can print the report out on a standard printer. You can send the report to Excel. You can send the report as an email to an email address. And if you need to, you can generate like an HTML or an XML version of the report, or you can actually create a PDF of the report. So if I run it to the display, it's just going to run to the screen. So this is kind of just a standard look of the report. But the nice thing about these is you have this option for a grid view. So if you click on this, you get a more refreshed view of the report. And here you actually have links again, where if I wanted to see more information on a particular order, I can click on that and I can either go to order inquiry or order maintenance. And this is all can be controlled to your needs and to different users for security. So here I can pop out of that report, go to order inquiry to look up more information about this order, and I can go right back to the report and then bring up another item. The other nice thing with this is you have an option to, you can click here and send this to Excel. So now I have that report information in Excel. If I need to have it there for further analysis, I can do that. And the other thing you can do is you can send this to a PDF. So now I can have a nice PDF version of the report if I need to save that, maybe send it out or do something else with it. You have, and those are standard in every report in ForeMost. You get these types of options. The other part about reports is, let me pull this one back up again. If this is some report that you run on a frequent basis, you can also schedule reports. There's an ability to schedule a report, and I can say, I want to run this report at a later date and time, or I want this report to run every day. When I come in the morning, or the managers, they want to see this report in their inbox first thing in the morning, I can schedule this report to run on a daily basis, weekly, monthly. There's multiple options here for how you want that report to run, and that report will run automatically for you. So you also have the ability to do scheduling on the reports. The other thing is, of course, the reports are all developed with the MV tools. They can all be easily customized. We can, using the tools, create new reports on a fairly rapid basis. So the other thing that is available is this user-defined reports. And what this would do, let me just bring up an example here. I'll just create a new report real quick and say I want to create a new report on customer information. And this shows the different information for the customer that's available to be reported on. So maybe I want to see, let's see, I'll sort it by customer number. Find my customer number, here it is. and I want to see like the customer number, customer type, date added, maybe like their last invoice number. So I can say that, I can run the report. There's just kind of a report I made on the fly. And you do have that ability for more of the people that need to do that sort of thing. The capability is there to do those. And once again, you still have the grid view and you have the PDF and send the report to Excel capability here as well. So you have the ability to do your own custom reporting if you need to. We also have modules for like, we have all the standard modules for like general ledger, purchasing. We have the ability to enter requisitions. You can do POs. You can actually create purchase orders from requisitions. There's receiving, accounts payable, inventory. And the inventory is quite robust. You have, like I say, multiple warehouses. You can have routings. More work orders, you can have routings. You can have work centers and different things for items. So there's quite a robust work order system. There's quoting. There's sales order entry, shipping, accounts receivable, and you also have fixed assets if you need a fixed assets capability. And then there's time and attendance, so you can keep track of employee hours. You can have employee information. I'll just run a query here. So you can see different information about the employee. That's also available. Also, any of these things, well, like the time and attendance, we can interface with like ADP and paychecks for payroll information. Accounting, we can interface with like Sage and QuickBooks, or really we can interface, we can, create a custom interface with the information in ForeMost to whatever system you need to use. We can interface with FedEx, UPS, and other companies for shipping information and tracking numbers. We can interface with any EDI service out there that you may need as well. We also have some ability for quality assurance processing and for entering like non-conformity information. And also there's the ability too, if you have like a green screen legacy application that you want to keep, that something you still want to use but still want to have the GUI menu like this in ForeMost, we can run a green screen or a character application right out of the GUI menu. This is an example of, like a customer entry green screen application. So we also have that ability, so you can have the GUI menu but still run any green screen applications that you would like to have out there. If you have any questions, just let us know. I think that's about all I have for the moment. It's just kind of a high level example. I'm going to turn this back over to Doug to wrap it up. And I appreciate your time today to take a look at this. And if you have any questions, please get back to us and let us know. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Hey, I appreciate taking the time to connect. Is there a chance you could click on that tiles menu one more time?
Sure, I can do that.
I was thinking while we were demonstrating, we had just rolled this out for a CFO at one of our sites that was interested in accessing company data while he was off site. He spent a lot of time on the golf course. So we set this up on Windows Surface Pro, actually loaded the AccuTerm terminal emulator. It's a full-blown workstation, but he preferred this tiles menu. And as Jim mentioned, for some of your users, you might only need maybe 3 or 4 icons, maybe less. But each user has the ability to create their own custom tiles menu with permission and security as defined by management. Some companies will allow users to use their own icons. So you might have one site, we've got a picture of a forklift for the guys on the back dock. Another site, you might have pictures of, I don't know, a truck or a car from the house. Whatever you want to use, that's all user definable with security and as granted permission by management. But I was thinking while we were doing this demo, we've also set this up on ruggedized mobile demand tablets. And those have the ability, built-in barcode scanners. So there's even more functionality available via the tiles menu. And from the tiles menu on the tablet, you can flip right back to the standard menu that Jim's got here.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a couple of thoughts I was thinking about. Project we're working on right now. Really impressive results. And those tablets are rugged, so these are for use out on the shop floor. But no, I appreciate it, Jim. Thank you very much. I like your
I was just going
option.
to show too that like on the work orders, I didn't mention, we also have the capability to do barcoding. We can either do barcoded labels or we can do forms with barcodes as well. If you need a barcode application, we have the ability to do that as well. So I was just going to show that real quick.
That's nice. Looks good. Well, I guess that's about it. If we don't have any questions, or Ron, if you see any questions, if we haven't followed up, yeah, don't hesitate. Drop us an email at Ashwood. I'm Doug O at ashwoodcomputer.com, or just hit our website and you'll have an opportunity to contact us with questions. What we'd like to do with any of you that have an interest, we could pull in and provide a personal demo for any of you or all of your team that you might want to have join us. But thank you all again. Be well. And if you have any questions, just let us know. Have a great day. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Ron.
All right. Thank you.
Sure thing.
Mm-hmm.